Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a Reddit story that's got all the feels. It's one of those situations where the lines get blurry, hearts get involved, and everything gets complicated. The title says it all. He said it was just a game, but I fell for him instead. Grab your popcorn, get comfy, and let's get into this. Our story comes from a user we'll call Clara. Clara starts by explaining that she met Leo through a mutual friend. The chemistry was instant. They were always laughing, finishing each other's sentences. You know, that movie-like connection. But there was a catch. Leo had just gotten out of a long-term relationship and made it crystal clear he was unlooking for anything serious. He was all about having fun, keeping things light, and avoiding commitment. He even proposed a game. The rules were simple. They would act like a couple, go on dates, hang out all the time, and be exclusive, but with a mutual understanding that it was all temporary, no strings attached, no future plans. Just enjoying the moment for what it was. Clara, who also wasn't actively searching for a serious relationship, thought, why not? It sounded like the perfect arrangement, all the fun parts of a relationship without the pressure. What could possibly go wrong? So, the game began. And at first it was perfect. They went to cute cafes, had late-night talks, explored the city together, and even met each other's friends. To everyone on the outside, they looked like the ideal couple. Leo was charming, attentive, and made her feel special. Remember little things she'd mentioned weeks ago and surprise her with her favorite snacks. He was a great listener and always seemed to know exactly what to say to make her day better. Clara writes that she kept telling herself, it's just a game. Clara, don't get attached. She'd repeat it like a mantra. But the more time they spent together, the harder it became to separate the game from reality. The lines started to blur. The fake hand-holding on their walks began to feel natural and comforting. The just-for-fun goodnight texts started to feel like something she could go to sleep without. The turning point came one evening when they were just chilling on the couch, watching a movie. It was nothing special, just a quiet night. But Clara looked over at Leo, who was completely engrossed in the film, and she felt this overwhelming wave of affection. It wasn't just fun anymore. She realized she wasn't just playing a part. She was genuinely, deeply happy with him. In that quiet moment, the scary truth hit her. She had broken the #1 rule. She had fallen for him. After this realization, everything changed for Clara. The game suddenly felt like torture. Every time he'd call it their little arrangement, it felt like a tiny paper cut on her heart. She started overthinking everything. Did he mean it when he said she looked beautiful? Was he just being a good game partner when he took care of her when she was sick? The uncertainty was eating her alive. She was living in a constant state of anxiety, trying to act cool and casual on the outside while her feelings were in a total storm on the inside. She tried to drop hints, hoping he might feel the same way. She'd say things like, you know, this feels so real sometimes, or ask him hypothetically about the future. But Leo would always expertly steer the conversation back to their original agreement. He'd laugh it off and say something like, that's because we're great at this game. Or let's just enjoy the now. Each time he did this, it was a confirmation that they were on completely different pages. He was still playing by the rules, while she had thrown the rulebook out the window. The final straw came during a friend's party. One of their mutual friends, not knowing the details of their arrangement, pulled Clara aside and gushed about how perfect she and Leo were for each other. The friend said, I've never seen him this happy. Not even in his last relationship. For a split second, Clara's heart soared with hope. Maybe he did feel more. But later that night, as they were leaving, Leo turned to her and said, see, we're fooling everyone. We're the best actors. And just like that, her hope was crushed. It was a brutal reminder that for him, this was all still a performance. Clara knew she couldn't continue like this. It was destroying her emotionally. So, she decided she had to do the hardest thing. She had to tell him the truth. She sat him down a few days later, her heart pounding in her chest. She took a deep breath and confessed everything. She told him that she had broken the rules and had developed real feelings for him. She explained that she couldn't pretend anymore because it was hurting her too much. She braced herself for the worst, expecting him to end things right then and there. And his reaction, according to Clara, he was completely silent for what felt like an eternity. He just stared at her, looking shocked and maybe a little lost. He finally said, Clara, I don't know what to say. The agreement was ... double quotes. He didn't have to finish the sentence. She knew. He admitted that he cared for her deeply as a friend, but he was still not in a place to offer her what she wanted and deserved a real, committed relationship. He was honest, and while his honesty was painful, she appreciated it. He didn't lead her on. So, they agreed to end the game, and with it, they ended their entire dynamic. They decided to take some space from each other, which was just as painful as the confession itself. Going from talking every day to complete silence was a shock to the system. Clara says the first few weeks were absolute agony. Every little thing reminded her of him. She felt foolish for letting herself fall, for hoping he might feel the same. But here's the inspiring part of the story. Clara ends her post not with regret, but with a lesson learned. She writes that while the heartbreak was intense, the experience taught her so much about herself. She learned that she couldn't compartmentalize her emotions and that she deserves someone who is ready and willing to be all in with her, no games, no conditions. She's focusing on healing, on rebuilding her self-worth, and on being open to a love that is real and reciprocated when the time is right. It's a powerful message about honoring your own feelings, even when it's hard. So, what do you guys think about this? Have you ever been in a situation where the lines got blurred? It's a tough spot to be in. Let me know your thoughts and your own stories in the comments below. I read them all. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. I'll see you in the next one.